Okay, I'm Tom Coughlin from the Consumer Electronics Society, and I'm here with Gary Davis from McAfee.
Yeah.
And you just gave a talk on IoT and security. It just scared the bejeebers out of me.
It's my job.
Yes. Do you think, is it possible for a consumer to be safe in today's and tomorrow's world, with these advanced threats?
I never want to spread fear. Everybody should feel free to enjoy these devices. What we're striving for is spend just a little bit of time adding security to your mindset. So when you buy that device, you connect it in your home, one of the thoughts you should go through is, okay, what have I done to make sure that this is secure? Right? Do I change the username and password? Have I done other things that will allow that to happen? I think if we do that, that's going to make everybody much better off.
Okay. So one of the things you were mentioning was the amount of data that companies collect, and in a sense they're taking a liability in doing that. With GDPR in Europe, do you think that's going to change? Do you think we're going to change in our privacy laws in the U.S. perhaps as well? And what would be the impact of that?
I don't want to speculate on the impact. I do think that the world is going to take notice of how GDPR goes. As companies comply with it, as it's enforced,
right,
as it's looked at, I do think that if that is successful and companies abide by it, and more importantly, the consumers feel that their information is being properly handled, I do think that may be the playbook that other countries and geographies use to help protect. At least I hope so. That'd be my intent.
It'll be a learning lab.
It'll be a learning lab, yeah.
So you're mentioning in particular about children. They're basically growing up at an age when they're constantly surrounded by things that are monitoring them, things that potentially could be recording things that may never go away. What can parents do about that?
The most important thing that a parent can do is engage with their children. Have the discussion, let them know what's being exposed. In fact, a good friend of mine is our chief scientist, and he tells me about how his 11-year-old daughter knows how to obfuscate certain pieces of information when she knows it shouldn't be used. For example, if she goes on a site,
right,
and they're asking her for a date of birth, she'll use some fictitious date if she knows that date's not going to be required to deliver that service. So if parents engage with their children and explain to them this is what being on safe online looks like, and hopefully keeps them away from places they shouldn't be going, like inappropriate content and stuff, that's the best we could hope for.
So one last question, that is, with there's been several cases like there's malware attacks, particularly on non-supported equipment like running XP, maybe the North Korea, South Korea hotline. Did you see those pictures? But you've got that, and you're saying that there's a couple of bots that are like on just an enormous number of machines, and if they work in coordination in some way, they really could seriously impact the network. What can we do about those kind of threats?
When I think about things like Reaper and Mirai and things that are getting on these millions of connected things that, and what's interesting about this is that most consumers don't see the impact because it affects upstream traffic, right? So they can continue to stream their content. So I'm getting good connectivity. This is where doing things like speaking at this event, talking to engineers, talking to people that build these devices, to help build security in. So they're locking down ports. They're informing consumers on what to do. Those are the sort of things that have to happen, because it's going to be really hard. If these botnets get activated and they start doing these denial of service attacks, it's going to get ugly. It just will be.
Do you think there'd be worth some kind of almost public service announcement, kind of to spread the word on how you can keep your machine, or take it off your machines, how to keep your machines from getting infected?
I would love to see something like that. Public service announcements, companies being more transparent about this, and when they sell these devices, they actually say, oh, by the way, here's what you can do to make sure that it's not being infected or doing bad things. There's just so much that we could be doing to help educate and inform that would make the whole world a safer place.
Great. Well, thank you very much, Gary. It's been a pleasure talking to you. You bet.
Panasonic.